Yellow pigs and 17. Good Saturday morning to you folks. This is episode 17, and an old roommate once told me that those were the two rarest things, yellow pigs and the number 17. Of course, he was a mathematician. I'll let you read into that what you may. Today's plan is to do some organizing back here. Mom got the stuff planted, but I never got around. We had to move some of the sprinklers around, the micros, just to get them out of her way. I got to get them back and aimed in the right direction so we're not overspraying too much. And I got to get the mulch into the beds, as well as getting a pot out of the way, and who knows what else. But I'm going to see what I can do about just getting cranking on that, and then we'll head out front and do the general cleanup with the lawn and the trimming and the blowing and the weed whacking, not necessarily in that order. So that's the plan. Let's get cracking. And just like that, it's 2 days later, and the phone is recharged. All right, I do have a solution for that, but I just didn't think it was going to die that quickly. But the lawn is mowed. The front yard is basically all cleaned up. And yeah, that's it for today. Or that's it for that day. Let's see what the next one brings. Good Monday morning. It's that next day. So I wanted to get a few things wrapped up today that I couldn't get to on Saturday. I took yesterday off. Front yard's looking pretty good, but we could use a little bit of help with the mulch up here, so I'm going to take care of that. And then if you remember, I pulled an agave plant out of here that I want to put in the other side yard, over by the cul-de-sac. So let's just get cranking, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, let's zoom back out and go look at things. Oops, what did I step on? Oh well. If you can pardon the gardeners, they are working next door. But I took care of, we'll just say I took care of the stuff up there, the mulch, and came around, took care of mulching this stuff, washed out the tub, mulched more under those bushes there. I'm trying to come around so you can see the last thing I did. Oddly enough, the one that was in there, the agave that was in there, was just completely rotted. I went to go pull it out and it actually snapped in half. So that's in the garbage. It'll go out and be green wasted. So I had the extra. I put that in and then went after the sprinkler head here. I was trying to figure out how did that get so dry when I've got a sprinkler head back there kind of under the palm. But I think at some point I had decided, okay, I'll let some of this stuff dry out. I think because the snake plant was all turning yellow and I thought maybe it was getting too much water, but there's another sprinkler head right over there too. So I'm not sure. My best guess is either the pepper tree, the roots of the pepper tree, which there's just a lot of it right there, may have been what did it in, and if that's the case, it'll probably do this one in too. But I've turned the water back up on this one, so hopefully that will help. And I think I'm going to call it quits for the day before the phone overheats or the battery goes dead. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. Good Wednesday morning to you. Now, I'll be honest, it's a couple of days later as I head around. I've been trying to catch up on a number of videos that I've shot but haven't gotten around to processing, mostly on the electronics side, but I don't know how long this video is at this point, so I'm gonna kind of jump into this. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get it done and then we'll wrap up for this episode. It may be shorter, it may actually be longer. We'll find out. Here's the thing. I replaced this agave here. The other one had rotted out. I've also noticed that all the snake plant here, well, most of the snake plant, now that I look at it, some in the back are actually green, but most of them are turning yellow, and they're a little overcrowded, so I need to deal with that at some point. Maybe not today, but also my purple orchid tree is starting to look a little worse for wear, which makes me think not enough water. So I need to get more water over here. I have corrected this particular sprinkler head, but I'd kind of prefer to go back to how it was, because I don't want to waste water. So what I did was I got, like these micros here, they actually make a 360. So I'm going to get a 360. I'm going to put it right about there, I think. I'm going to have to tap off one of the others, maybe even that one, and run a line over here. Actually, now that I think of it, there's a sprinkler back in there, kind of underneath the palm, for those, what are they called? Geraniums. So anyway, the bottom line is I need to get some water in some places here. Also the bougainvillea, well, actually from a distance it wasn't looking real good. Now it's not looking so bad, but this one definitely looks like it probably needs more water. I know they don't like wet feet, but let's assume for the moment that they're not going to get wet feet. I just need to get them some water. But the other problem I'm having is this. The lines keep blowing off the manifold. And so what I've done is I've gotten some zip ties. I'm going to try and zip tying them on and see if that helps. So that'll take care of those two, and then I've got some tees and I've got some other stuff. I'm going to see what I can do about improving this whole side yard, making it still efficient, but better. Because also, I mean, look at this. The bird of paradise is pretty much dead, and this is starting to look a little sick. So, yeah, I got to figure this out. That's what I'm going to task myself with today, and then we'll wrap up. It's turning into one of those days. Well, I tried to do the time-lapse thing. Actually, kind of looks like I'm now zoomed in when I didn't intend to be, but let's head over. Big wet spot here, mainly because this one here, I had turned up to 180 before I went to go correct these problems here. Now I'm back down to a little over 90, so I can get some on the lawn and get a little bit in the bed there. And the reason for that is I tried putting the 360 in there. It didn't like it. Then it dawned on me that the way I did the T, kind of hard to describe. If you think of the T, if you think about the vertical part versus the sort of left to right, what I should have done initially was put the source of the water on the vertical part and then had the two outputs on the left and the right. But instead what I did was I used the left and the right I just cut the existing line and put the left and right and then branched off with what would have been the vertical part, if that makes sense, and there wasn't enough pressure to drive the thing. Then once I corrected that problem and hooked it up, it blew the cap right off. So the compromise at this point, and you can kind of see it kind of sputtering there, but that's better than nothing. So I got a 360, I moved it up so it's pushing back into the geraniums. It's also pushing forward, and just in case this tree the purple orchid tree doesn't get enough. Because I've still got the T in there, I needed to do something with this particular line. I do not have any the straight connectors, so I'll have to go get some, put them in stock so I can deal with that in the future. But for now, I put the 90 back on there. It's an adjustable 90, and it is just barely spitting. I turned it down so that the pressure would go up over there, and while it's down, I figured, okay, I'll just have it kind of drizzle on the tree. That's what's going on with that one. This one is running. It seems to be doing okay, and the bougainvillea is doing okay. And it occurred to me I got a 180 here putting water on the bougainvillea, so I'm not sure why this one's not doing so well. But the other stuff back here that wasn't doing well, we've got a 180 back there, and we got a 90 over there that's barely spitting. So what I do is I moved the 90 about a foot forward, so it put a little bit more water on here, and hopefully you can kind of see the moisture in the bed now. It may be too late for the bird of paradise, but I mean the succulent's doing beautifully. Everything else seems to be doing roughly well, except for the bougainvillea, which was my main concern. But I'll have to figure out if there's something else going on. That's basically it. I wish I'd gotten more done today. There are other things to do as it shuts itself down. And yeah, I think I'm just going to call it for today. And for the video, I don't know if it's going to be short or long, and I'm sorry there was no time lapse on this, but that's it for today. That's it for the video. Take care of yourself, take care of the ones around you, and may your thumb be green.